Say, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're all here. There were some technical difficulties, but despite that, we have joined you tonight at 7 o'clock on Monday evening here in South Africa. Don't know what time it is by you, but nonetheless, we are Nat Zero RP. Welcome to the stream. We will be continuing the Brass Gasconade. This is episode 3. Join us in just a moment as we watch the mysteries unfold. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Brass Gasconade episode 3. We continue right where we left off. And on that note, last where we left off, Sergei, Alexander, and Grant went out on their own mission to acquire information on the current whereabouts of the Raven gang that have been seemingly terrorizing the local neighborhood that they are in. Put on task, the HVC were tasked to acquaint themselves with the locals and also gather information from them, hopefully being able to establish a network of individuals that would be able to grant them information through their mission as they pursue it. But nonetheless, Sergei, Alexander, and Grant went off to an underground fighting pit known as the Ho Jin, with the proprietor known as Alexander, not a friend to known as Evander, not a super well-known acquaintance of Sergei and Alexander, but nonetheless they know this individual. They hope to enter this fighting pit, put a few things on the line, this thing being Grant, and fight for information regarding the Ravens. As they entered the ring, Sergei, Alexander, and Grant, they proclaimed this challenge to everyone that was present within the ring. But upon hearing this challenge, some unknown individual to most of you, only Grant knowing the colors and the sort of stature that this person wore, this individual, a large sort of mafia-looking individual, jumped into the ring, immediately taking up the challenge, hoping to take Grant from the two barbarian brothers. Taking on the challenge, you all fought within the ring of Evander, and eventually defeated this individual, seeing some new interesting magics that Grant was able to display. A magic that is alien and almost weird to most of you, bending blood within the arena to his will. But nonetheless, you were able to defeat this individual, and thanks to Evander's generosity, you were able to learn some information about the Ravens. Not much, but a simple sentence of "follow the eyes" was granted to you. And with this, you left the arena. But at the same time, Vox, who secretly followed the two brothers and Grant, stalked within the crowd, hoping to find some suspicious individuals within it. And indeed, he found someone, an individual cloaked in a very dark cloak, who escaped from one of the side exits. He spotted this individual and pursued them. But with a horrible stealth check, unfortunately, they cornered him and almost killed Vox Archon, but he was able to escape with his wit and his powers about. But with that, you all gathered back up within the HVC headquarters and exchanged some information, being this "follow the eyes" sentence that Evander granted all of you. As you spoke about this, Vox stumbled into the HVC, bloodied and bruised, leaving behind a black oil-like blood on the surface of this building that you're in, something that many of you found intriguing and suspicious. When Grant tried to use his hemomancy on it, he found that he could manipulate this strange blood-like liquid, but he took damage in the process and probably decided that that was not such a good idea. Nonetheless, you all gathered this information and you began to seek out these symbols that were rumored to be left behind by the Ravens. And sure enough, you found one of the first ones at the Toad Princess, the inn that is right by your doorstep, so to speak. It seems that this inn was attacked just about a day ago, and many of its stock and things were taken from it. And a symbol of a raven, missing one eye, was left above the signage of this building. You followed this, and that eye of the raven pointed to the True Steel Forge. Upon investigating it, you discovered that there was another symbol that pointed to Hilda's hutch, and eventually, upon investigating that, you found that this symbol pointed into a direction between, almost like in the center of the triangle that the Toad Princess, the True Steel, and Hilda's hutch made. You followed this lead, searched around a little bit, and eventually you found a building with 3 eyes above its doors, or above the main door that seemed to lead within this building, seemingly a hideout of some sort. After you, Sergei, broke down the door, and those with keen perception would have noticed a strand of silver magic of some sort snapped and dissipated into nothingness as the door flung open. But most of you seemed to put that aside, and you all burst into this building. Upon doing so, you found a large 3-story abandoned apartment building with 3 crates on the bottom floor, a large, a medium, and a smaller one, barring the back door of this hideout. We began to search around, and I believe it was Silas who went up to the 2nd floor and discovered a sort of common area, a table with a bunch of chairs around it, indicating that this place had been lived in. People have been here before, people have spent some time here. And most intriguingly, you found some sort of cigarette butt filled with a almost crystalline reddish, whitish crystal. And Alexander proceeded to inhale some of this, And indeed, he felt a rush of some sort of magical energy, increasing his strength. And it was something that he had never felt before. And it felt good. You're unsure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. But nonetheless, after investigating further, you moved some of these crates around within this lower floor. And to your surprise, you revealed a storage basement of some sort. A very small room, haphazardly seemingly carved out of the floor of this room. But there, within, you found a large piece of parchment against a wall, which is a map of some kind, which you have not investigated yet. A table in front of it, with a bunch of things on top of it. You've not investigated that yet. And also residue of some sort of green gem. You would have expected to find some Eulerai stock in here, perhaps, as that has seemingly been the thing that the ravens have been trafficking. But upon further investigation, you notice that maybe this haul of their Eulerai has been moved as of late. You only found a dusty, fragmented residue of this. With Alexander's magic sense, you were able to deduce this. But further than that, there were no magical or strange things within this storage room. With that, I think we are going to pick up, as you are all within a abandoned apartment building of some kind. You all look down upon the small opening that you have discovered by moving the large crates out of the way. You can see the map against the wall of the small opening, a table in front of it with a bunch of tools and things upon it, the greenish residue that Alexander now sort of mingles within his fingers, detecting that it is in fact magic, and most apparent, the absence of basically anything. I think there's a crate in there, which upon investigation will reveal that it's a bunch of like rations and things like that. But otherwise, this place is pretty barren. But this is a lead, and there's a map there. HVC, what would you like to do as you find yourselves in this place? Give it over to you.
It's just me and Alexander in this like room. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, in this small hall, right?
Yeah, Shadow is somewhere outside. He was listening in to what they were speaking about or whatever, but Shadow's currently just looking through the rest of the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
We can get to that now.
Yeah.
Sergey's just gonna shout up through the hall, say, "Oi, I'm not gonna do everything for you down here. Get your asses down here." For whoever is standing outside, like above.
As you say that, your favorite edgelord jumps into the hall and lands right next to you.
Ooh, almost not making a sound, Sergey Vox joins right next to you.
No, perfect. You all better from last night's beating?
Vox just kind of lifts his chin a bit and his eye flickers, but he seems to dismiss your gesture, or your comment rather.
If Sergey could grin, he would have.
I think you just hear like a clenching of pistons and steam, but nothing changes on your mechanical maw that you have in front of you.
Yeah. I think I'll give a look over the map on the wall.
It's pretty apparent what is on the map, but give me an investigation check, if you please.
Oh yeah, I'm so good with investigation.
I think,
That's a three.
if it helps, I will also take a look at the map.
Okay, so one of you can
Yes,
do with
please.
advantage, or one of you roll.
Well, I already rolled, so...
Okay, so Vox, just do one separately, please.
Okay. That's pretty good. 23.
So, Serga, I think with that 3, it's very apparent to see that a certain portion of the map has been clearly marked. There's like a red circle around it with an X on it. It seems to be the Eastern Industrial District, but that's all that you get basically. You're unsure where it is. Specifically, you're not super familiar with that area, or maybe you're maybe not that good at reading maps, so you just sort of like point at it, and then Vox points out the rest. And Vox, what you gain from this is the following. Just give me one moment. You point at the map, and I have put it on Owlbear now. So I would say that all of you, you're about here, somewhere on the map between these buildings. Let me just point it out for you. You're about here. But Vox, you point out on the map the place that is circled on this map. It's basically a entire map of Zchester. You get you point at a portion that is right over here in the industrial district, the southern industrial district to be precise. And what you learn from it is that the specific place that you point to is sort of a part of the industrial district that has not been fully developed yet. It's a large open area that is still under construction. So it's probably some sort of place of construction. You might not find like fully created buildings there or something like that. There's like a lot of cranes and things drawn on the map. But other than that, even with it, the high 23 that you have rolled, you deduce that this is probably some sort of meeting spot for them. They have gathered the Eulari, and this might be where they exchange said Eulari with whoever their patron or whoever they're working for is. Yeah, maybe with this you also deduce that the Ravens aren't, like, they might be sort of independent to a sense, but they're definitely doing whatever they're doing for somebody.
Okay. I think Sergei would just hear a few like grunts every now and then, as Vox seems to intrinsically like investigate the map. And it almost seems like he's drawing a few conclusions.
Where's your dragon to speak for you? No, I cannot read minds. I'm not a filthy sorcerer like you.
His cape just kind of whips backwards, and this time there's already a dragon head just popping out from underneath.
Oh, right over here, yes. I've been out for a while. This cape is just very good at blocking out sound, apparently. Well, Mr. Vox has deduced, given his good investigation skills, that the Ravens seem to be congesting in the industrial sector, somewhere on the eastern flank of the city. It seems that it might be currently unoccupied since it's still being properly built. And what we can tell is that the Ravens are currently using this area as a meeting spot to exchange their materials for maybe something else, like money or whatever it is they are trading for it.
Probably money. That's what everyone wants in this damn place. Can I look over the desk? We haven't investigated the desk yet, right?
Continuing with your 3 investigation check, there is a bunch of tools and things on the desk that you're unsure of. They seem to serve a purpose, but you're unsure of said purpose. If someone would like to, you can gloss over it.
Yeah, as I'm going over it, I just like lift some of them slightly and then just drop it again and look over the tools.
I think Vox's eye will follow your gestures, and if I may, I will do that check.
Yeah, I will continue your 23 investigation. This is a jeweler's kit that is placed upon this desk. It seems that with 23 investigation that maybe one or two people of the Ravens actually know what Yulari is and what to look for in the green gems, because Yulari looks very similar to like emeralds or other types of green gems like peridot or such. So maybe if this is sort of like bring all green gems that you can gather within the area to this place. Whoever this person is uses this jeweler's kit to identify Yulari and then put it in like a crate or something and then ship it to whatever this red marked area on the map is.
Okay. Is there like still any like Yulari like traces of it in the room? Like powder or anything
yes,
of the sort?
Alexander would point it out with his magic sense sort of going off right now. There is powdered Yulari somewhat over the desk. There's a few shards in one corner, and there's also like other green gems that are just sort of laying about, but they do not seem to be Yulari. It's like most of the Yulari has been taken. These green gems are not Yulari, and they sort of like just threw them out. Yulari is what they're after.
Okay. I think when Sergei looks at the thing, Vox kind of sees that he's not familiar with this type of tool, and he just, as soon as Sergei glances up, he just kind of points at the floor with his one finger, gesturing towards the Yulari, and he just gives off a little...
I think it's obvious enough for him to pick it up,
Yeah.
right? Do I need to make a check?
No, it's fine. You sort of,
Yeah,
as
okay.
Vox points this out, just granting to those crumbled gems, you pick them up, sort of ruffle them in your fingers, and they do glint with some natural light. And it's obvious that it's a bit of remnants of Yulari. And I think you also pick up like another smaller gem, but that does not glint like that, and it's not Yulari. It's just some random green gem.
Alright, well, I guess we know where our next stop is, and I start making my way to the exit of this room. Is there like a ladder or something going up or not?
Yes, there is a ladder, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just start swiftly moving up that thing. No
Okay.
longer interested in
You-
the room.
Climb up.
Who is like waiting or like in the room when I
I
get up
think-
there? People still upstairs? Or...
Okay.
Grant is just kind of looking down into the hole.
Yeah,
He doesn't
same
like
Laura
tight
as well.
spaces, so he doesn't go down.
Well, did you guys find anything? Anything of
Well,
importance?
not really.
I was kind of just waiting. I didn't really look around.
I should probably see what Shiloh is up to. I mean, he's not here.
Glad you guys could be so useful. And I walk out and I just wait outside for everyone to gather.
And then Laura's gonna whisper to Grant, do you think he's made of this?
I don't really know. I think he's always mad at something.
No. Well, I should probably go make myself useful then and go find Shiloh, see what's he up to.
I'll just, I'll wait here. And
Are
then
you sure?
Grant just sits down, like, on the floor. yeah, I'll just wait.
Alright. And then she just... Is she gonna walk past? Where did, I forgot the name. Where did Sergei go? So she's gonna walk past him, like on the search
like-
for...
Outside, leaning against the wall, like right next to the door. Basically just like waiting for Alexander to come out. And the rest of you, I guess.
Well, if you see... Laura's probably gonna go past you on a search for Shiloh, and you're just gonna see she's walking past. She sees you, stops for a moment, looks down, and then looks down at the floor, and then doesn't make eye contact with you and just rushes past.
Keegan,
Yes.
Shiloh was, in the meantime, while they were doing that, Shiloh was just going through the rest of the place. He's actually just specifically looking for something that might resemble the mask that he saw. He's just looking for something that might indicate that they're connected in some way.
Make an investigation check.
I shall do so for you. Investigation. Eee, let's go. That's a 19.
You confidently can deduce that whatever is in here, anything that you find, even some of the graffiti that is in the semblance of like a crow, does not seem to have something to do with whatever this crow-masked individual is that you've seen before. They seem to resemble like the likelihood, maybe they've taken inspiration from these masked crow individuals and call themselves the Ravens. But other than that, you can confidently say that they don't seem to have something directly to do with them.
Alright, cool. Charlotte just, once going through everything, he just lets out a big disappointed sigh, or at least a small one.
And then after you sigh, you're gonna hear Laura at the door. Well, I take it then you didn't find anything either.
You hear an even louder sigh.
Did I do something wrong?
He just turns
Are you out of
around and
breath?
He just walks past you, doesn't make eye contact or says anything.
I think he might be upset.
And
He's
also
always upset.
very swiftly on his tail, almost without most of you noticing, Vox almost just passes by without a trace. By the way, for those who are able to see his hand, he did zoink one of the green gemstones that was discarded. Just a note to the DM.
Did you try to take some of the Eulari or just a random gem?
No, those the other gems.
The other
that
gems.
They seem to
you can
discard.
add a 10 gold piece green gem to your inventory.
Yeah, I will say this. I saw gems in a flashback the previous session, right? I just read about gems. Or did I actually see gems?
I think you saw something in that flashback about the hemomancy and bleeding Eulari. That flashback that you got in the notes. There were some, like, these visions are in sort of like the fuzzy, almost black and grey. It almost looks like a black and grey TV that you see these visions through. But they did somewhat resemble gems. You're unsure if they're green or at all Eulari, but they were gems.
They were gems.
Yes.
It's
like sort of scattered on the notes that you read.
I think, Charlotte, where are all these gems laying about? Is it in that bunker?
Yeah, it's within. It's like a
area?
small, like 10-foot high, maybe 15-foot wide, just like a rectangle that's sunk into the ground where those crates have been pulled over. That's where they are.
I think Charlotte, just after disappointingly not finding anything he wanted, he did go and take a look at the place where everyone was, and I think he just looked down, noticing the gems, but he just ponders it for a moment and he thinks back about the flashback that he had, but he leaves it be. And I think then he makes his way out.
On your way there, though, Laura is behind, soon pursued. She's like, well, Shadow, don't be so sad. We can work together, you know? I don't know what you're looking... I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be finding here, but, I mean, 4 eyes are better than 2. And, I mean, you have your monkey and I have Gadget. That means we're 8 eyes.
He walks away.
Come on, Shadow. We have to work together.
He just walks out. He doesn't say anything.
Well, I'm gonna follow you. I'll be our entertainment because this place is quite dusty and boring. So I'll just keep on telling you some stories, okay? Even if you don't want to listen to it, I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
I don't think that would be necessary, Fräulein. Thank you. And he just
I'm
walks
still
faster.
gonna help. I'm still gonna help, and then as he walks faster, she walks faster behind him.
Yeah, what did I do?
I just want to ask, Solon, where are you at the moment? Just sort of chilling in the room, or what?
Solon was just vibing in the main room.
Okay.
He didn't do anything specific, like go look for anything.
Yeah, for your reference, I would say it's just past midday right now, so your zenith state has faded. But yeah, you watch everyone as they begin to slowly leave this main room.
Vox is still down in the cellar, right? Or did he also...
No, I went out.
And also Grant followed you out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, sense heartbeat, he just kind of...
Yeah.
Stood up and went with you.
Just on that note, Grant, you still have sense heartbeat up, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Interestingly enough, it's something I neglected the previous episode. There are 8 of you, including you. You sense less than 8 heartbeats while within the presence of your squad.
What?
Hmm? Can I determine where this absence comes from?
Make a perception check for me.
6.
It's like your crew is a bit jumbled at the moment. What I will give you is that you only sense 7 heartbeats, including your own. There's one missing. You're unsure which one does not have the heartbeat.
I see.
There's almost like there's like a drumming static instead of a heartbeat. It's like a sound.
Grant will now make it his mission to investigate every single heart, starting with Vox, so he follows him out.
You sort of follow Vox around, like almost irritatingly. You do discern that he indeed has a heartbeat, but Vox, there is this creepy man a few feet behind you.
At some point, you just run into him by accident because he just immediately stops and you just like into his back, and he just slowly turns around. He's literally just rotating on the Z-axis. It doesn't even look like he's using his feet. And once he stops, you just see his mask glaring at you annoyingly, trying to figure out what the hell you're doing.
Sorry, I just wanted to... No, I'll just I'll go this way. Sorry.
I'm just imagining in the same room, Grant's like following Vox like a little puppy, and Alora is like irritating Charlotte following him, and it's just like they're walking. Yeah, it's just this trail of people following each other.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Is there anything else you'd like to do before exiting this hideout?
Can Alora investigate just that general area as well, where Alexander was, where she's now with Charlo? She and Charlo is now at.
I'm gonna say with continuing Vox's 23, you don't discover more than he does. You discover the map, the circle with the X on it, pointing to the Southern Industrial District, some sort of construction yard of some sort. You discover dust of Eulari and other gems, a few green gems, 4 to be exact, with the exception of the one Vox has taken. You've discover a jeweler's kit that is there that you could take for yourself if you'd like.
I will take it.
You can add a jeweler's kit to your inventory. And other than that, it's just like dried rations.
That's literally all I wanted. So
okay.
We're gonna get some ice, boys.
Yeah.
The hideout has like the markings outside, right, to indicate that it's like the Raven's thing.
Yes, there were 3 Raven's eyes above the door entrance.
Okay. Could I somehow maybe just like, I don't know, get a crate or a box or something, stand up and then just basically like cross out the eyes?
I'd say you can do that. You sort of get up and do you like cross it out with like a blade, like scratch over with your like sharp fingernail? Or just sort of defile those symbols, and there are now 3 crossed out Raven eyes above the doorstep.
Then
if you'll allow me.
Alexander comes out. I'll just follow the rest.
Okay.
So Scarlet Brand says target.
Yes.
Does this include non-living things?
It has to be living. It has to have
Unfortunately.
blood and a heartbeat, unfortunately.
I see. Okay, never mind then.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, or would you guys like to move on? I believe.
We would also like to live on. Yes.
Can Alora have a conversation with Charlotte when they're investigating the room?
Of course.
Charlotte would not like to have a conversation.
She's gonna have a conversation, or Alora's gonna have a conversation with herself, but there will be a conversation held.
I would say, sort of, as Shiloh walks out, Alora, you like put a patter after him, and you can go ahead.
Alan, why don't you like us working together? I mean, we're gonna do this in any way for so long. Why can't we just work together? Why can't you just open your heart?
He turns
Come
around
on, I can
and
be
you
useful.
basically just walk into him. And he just stares down at you for a second in pure silence. His hands
Sorry.
are kind of behind his back, like he looks like very uptight.
German dictator vibes.
Yeah, exactly like that type of vibes. Fraulein, not that I don't appreciate your, how do you call it, banter, but I really am not planning on doing this forever. I'm only going to be here to find what I need, and then I'm going on my own.
Well, let me help you find then what you need, and you can get on your way quicker. I don't mean it like that. I mean it in a nice way. I don't mean I want you to get out. You know what I mean? But I just want to help you.
No offense, Fraulein, but I hardly believe that any of these people, including you, have the capabilities of helping me. Unfortunately, I think I alone can do something like that.
I wouldn't underestimate the people you're working with, Shadow.
You mean the brutes? The idiots with the metal arms?
They're not idiots. They're scary, but they're not idiots.
And what about weak, frail, pale, pasty person?
Brent is not weak or frail. He may be pale, but he's. Don't talk about him like that.
Alright, well, what about the one with the skin condition? What's his name?
Silas.
Yes, Silas.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Silas. Silas has an amazing pebble addiction, which
Yes, I've heard.
I frankly find interesting. And besides, you're judging us and you don't even know us.
Okay, but and is Vox in the vicinity at the moment?
Yes, you see him in the corner, and like Grant is like Vox.
You as well.
Yeah, Vox paces 2 steps forward. Grant follows exactly 2 steps. Vox moves 2 steps. Grant moves 2 steps. That's what you see in the background.
Charlotte got him still with his hands behind his back. He just looked over to Vox. And what about that one? Really
What,
think we
Mr.
can trust
Vox?
him? Yes, the one with the mask. Who hasn't spoken.
I believe we can trust Mr. Vox. He might be scary, but I believe he has our best interests at heart.
As you say that, Vox electrocutes a piece of the ground in front of him to scare Grant.
Charlotte just like... He just says,
He just... Yeah.
Then we came to help you the other day. You saw what he did to those people, right? You saw the magic that he casted. Do you know what that is?
What, you believe magic is evil, is it? You're one of them.
No. Not magic, Fraulein. That power that he uses. I haven't seen anything like it. That is what I don't trust.
Well, Shiloh, you kind of need us, so I suggest you start trust in us because we can't trust you if you don't trust us. And to be fair, I'd rather have Mr. Vox on our side than against us.
You're very naive, Fräulein. We'll see
I'm
that,
not naive, I just believe the best in people.
Of course. Anyway, if there's nothing that we have to worry about, then I guess we're done here, right? We can trust these people. They will help us find what we need.
Yeah.
Me find what I need, at least.
Well, I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself. I know I'll help you if you let me.
He almost like snickers at that thought. Of course, Fräulein. Of course. He turns around, hands still behind his back.
I'm gonna help Grant before Vox turns him into a fry. So, I'll see you later.
I think this time Vox has stopped turning around to walk. He's now just looking at Grant until he disappears from his sight. Just standing there saying nothing.
Yeah, Grant. I don't think Vox likes it when you follow him that much. He's more walk alone in the shadows type person.
Sorry about that, Mr. Vox. And Mr. Dragon, Red King. I'll leave you to alone now.
Yes, I'm sorry. You just can't hear me very well because I'm under a cloak.
Actually, out of curiosity, do I feel a heartbeat from the dragon, like a tiny one?
I would say yes, but it's very faint and almost ethereal, if I could explain that. So in that case, you would feel 8 heartbeats, one from the dragon, but it's sort of a different frequency, almost as if it's not of this world. But you've seen the dragon is sort of semi-ethereal himself, so you would clock it up as that. But there's definitely still a heartbeat missing. And as Alora approaches close to you, you do sense a heartbeat from her.
I see. Well, Grant is just gonna... so I'll leave you two alone now. And then just turn to Alora and, like, kind of skulk away. Like, head kind of looking at the ground, embarrassed.
As he's, like, kind of mopily dragging himself away, Vox kind of keeps his gaze on him, but his mask tilts a little bit like a curious pup, essentially. His eyes just tracing Grant's movement with some sense of visual curiosity, at least.
Alora's going, like, imagining she's, like, dragging Grant away from Mr. Vox, and she's just gonna be like, it's okay, Grant. We're just gonna go back, and then I can make you another sandwich, okay?
Oh, I think I'd like that.
Yeah. I can maybe make Silas's one as well. Where is Silas? We haven't seen him in a while.
Hello. Someone
there you are.
looking for me. So I was just looking at the walls and shit.
Found anything of interest?
Well, not really. Only the smoking buds and stuff. Nothing much.
Is there ba-dum?
There is a heartbeat from Silas.
Wonderful. I marked this up.
So, she's gonna say this out loud because I'm assuming everyone is close by. Are we heading out, man?
Oh, I haven't found anything, but I guess I never really was going to anyway.
Oh, man, don't talk about yourself like we're gonna find something. Do you want another 5 minutes? We can give you 5 minutes to find something.
No, I'm actually quite hungry.
Alright. Okay, let's go get a sandwich then.
You can get a sandwich later. Right now we have another place to go investigate.
There it is.
It's the industrial sector.
Oh,
Sure, our dark friend over there will lead the way, and I point to Vox.
Alrighty then.
You are greeted with a disgruntled moan from underneath the mask, and then a finger pointing towards the sun that is still very clearly up, almost irritantly.
What, afraid you're gonna get sunburned?
He just turns around and walks away.
I think Sergei and Alexander also starts walking.
What, does anyone else knows what the hell that meant?
No, but I assume we have to follow them. And as I step in behind them, as I start following them, any ba-dum-ba-dums?
Who are you looking for at specifically right now?
I'm looking at the two brothers. I guess I'm just walking behind them.
Alexander and Sergei both have heartbeats.
What a conundrum this, but alright.
I just want to know, Solon know where the industrial district's at?
I
think
think
he kind of grew up in.
Yeah, actually the industrial district isn't far from the church that you know so well. It's just a bit south of there, in fact.
And then what I just wanted to know is Vox walking into that direction or not? So I don't know where Vox is going.
Vox
is just walking towards one of the main streets, and then he stops in his tracks for a moment, and then the dragon just kind of slithers out and waits for the group to gather.
So I would say in this instance, you all gather in a shadow of one of the buildings, sort of parallel with the main street. And I would say, Vox, with your investigation, you also notice that the supplies there have been taken out quite hastily from the hideout. That's why the residue has been left over. It's almost as if they quickly took them out after you possibly discovered them for a brief moment. So it's going to be your choice if it's a time crunch or not. But nonetheless, you all convene here. You know that there is the industrial sect in the south, or you could go back to the HVC and reconvene. It's your choice. What are you guys doing?
DM?
Yes.
I just want this character's sake. In the industrial sector, is there anything of Alora's, family-wise? Is there anything there that you would want to stay clear of that could...
when it comes to this one, no. This one is primarily connected to what you would know. Southern Industrial District is the House Arden. They produce furnaces and heating implements and things like that in this industrial sector. There's nothing specifically to do with the steels. It's a industrial district that's quite connected to enchantment and metalwork and things like that. So no, the steels probably wouldn't even want to put their feet in this industrial district because it's so sort of magical in nature. It's not as the steels would like it. But yeah, you're confident that there shouldn't be any trouble. So what are you all doing as you convene here and have a moment to strategize?
I think Sylvester just patiently waits for everyone to gather, and when he finally sees most of the members gathering, he will be he will raise his voice a bit, and he'll be
all right, everybody here, up, listen. So, Mr. Vox has suggested that we rather delay our little expedition until evening for two specific reasons. The first one being that he believes these ravens will most likely operate under the guise of the moon, as not to be seen by public eyes. And second of all, that would also give us a greater variety of stealth options to possibly intercept them.
I don't know, what if when they are currently at that location we saw on the map?
Well,
What if they don't stay there till evening?
We don't
would
want
be
them to
a
pack up and leave.
as far as we can discern, it's a pretty open area, so they wouldn't be able to hide too much within the day, at least. I don't know, it's just a nudge.
Why don't we just go knock on the door and just ask them?
Well, Mr. Grant, that option, of course, would not be extremely covert, and preferably we would like to avoid any direct confrontation with them until further notice, if you would understand, my boy.
What exactly is the idea once we find these people?
Kill them, probably.
Kill them. All of them.
Wait.
An entire gang of people.
We'll probably keep some of them alive and ask them questions, information, torture them, perhaps.
What?
I don't know,
Torture
there's
was
many
never-
possibilities.
I never signed up for torture.
Well, you don't have to do it, me and Alexander will do it.
Well, it's still kind of us doing it, though.
Nah, you can just look away, it's fine.
Oh, okay. I can look away.
I think it's best that you leave the interrogating to me and Vox. You see, we have quite the experience.
No. Do not trust Vox with anything.
Well-
I don't understand why you wouldn't.
Yes, I could say the same for him as well. Yes, I am not going to tell that to them. No way. Anyway,
Laura's gonna whisper to Grant, what's it with this group distrusting each other?
might
don't know.
I suggest that we quite possibly split up? Perhaps a few people can do a day survey, and then those who are more proficient at night can do the night shift to see if they are busy with their concoctions.
I'll
I'd
take
like to
morning
do-
shift.
I'll do the
Oh,
day as well.
Yeah, me
so I
too.
can,
Yeah,
be
day
back,
shift, please.
I can be back for dinner.
The pedal hunters are back at it again.
Oh no.
Let's go, boys. The A-team. The A-team.
Day shift, please.
How many people are doing the day now?
Oh,
If the people hunters and
Laura and the pedal
I
hunters.
think Alexander and Sergey would like to go.
Solon would also like to join in on
Okay,
the
but now
day
that's
show.
almost everyone that wants to do the
Yeah,
day.
no, it's fine.
The day.
Look, Vox, you can go and hide in the headquarters if you want. Okay, but we're gonna go. That or you can just stay in the area and keep an eye out for any stragglers that might slip through.
I will join whoever is going at night, I guess.
Vox's
Wait,
head just
wait.
turns towards you.
Does that mean you need night people? I'm confused. Who's going when?
We need two
Yeah.
people. We need some people to go during the day and some people to go during the night.
I
Yeah,
can
that
only
part I
through
got.
the day.
We can just all go now. I don't understand why we need to split up.
Remember, our objective is not to engage them. It is simply to gather intel for the time being and report back to Fulan.
Oh,
Is that
I'm
understood, you
confused.
two?
Why don't we just...
The dragon looks at the two barbarians like a disappointed uncle.
Well, how are we going to observe or gather information if we go and hide in the hideout? Why not just go closer and observe the area from some of the buildings close by and see if there's any movement or activity?
If I could
Well,
object, I
that's what
think
you're about to do, my friends. And we're simply going to do it in the evening. For in case you miss something.
I could object. Sergey, I think Mr. Box just means he wants two teams. If the Ravens aren't there now, then we have another team that also goes at night.
I think Mr. Vox is just afraid. And he'll turn around and he'll just start walking in that direction.
I don't think you'd be afraid.
I would like
have
to
you
do
seen
an
him?
intimidation check on Sergey.
how would you?
I'm walking away, so...
He's gonna come
Feel my
me.
intimidation.
Can it then be a disadvantage since I'm not looking at him?
Make an intimidation check, but how are you doing it, Fox?
That is a good question.
He's gonna appear.
You know what? No, that wouldn't make sense. If he's not paying attention, then he can't pick up on my intimidationness.
I can get a tingle in my spine, you know.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Be awesome.
Okay, so what's the plan now? We have Sergey, Solon, Alexander,
Everyone except Vox and Shiloh.
going in the
apparently.
day. Okay.
Yeah, unless someone wishes to join us during the night. Give away the spot in the daytime.
Before dinner.
Silas just looks away and whistles.
Yeah, the night's not for me, sorry.
Thanks.
I gotta stay with my 18.
Yeah, we gotta stay right here. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Okay, so you all split up. Vox and Shiloh, you head slowly into the direction of the HVC. The rest of you begin walking to the industrial district. As you get to the industrial district, we are now with Silas, Grant, Alexander, Sergey, Solon, Alora. You all begin walking into this space, and you find surprisingly little resistance to you entering this place. There are no guards posted at the sort of not picket fences, like the iron fences with like wire on top of them. You just simply maybe walk through a hole that has been cut in some of the fencing. This place seems to be, at least in the area that you enter, not very occupied. And as you enter this space, it's sort of like a very flat area with a lot of dirt everywhere. There are a bunch of dirt roads that sort of curl to the different buildings in this place. There are massive warehouses here. You see some of the buildings are like those classic factory buildings with those weird like zigzag roofs with smoke coming out of the towers. But there are not many people around. Maybe they're within the buildings, maybe they're on lunch break, you're unsure. But what are the group of you doing at this moment as you begin to skulk through the shadows of the industrial sector?
I guess we're just following the brothers because they're on a mission.
Can we make a perception check for some of the like raven eyes? Any markings that might indicate?
Make a perception check.
Their dealings.
Make a perception
That's a
check.
good
Anyone that would like that is in this situation at the moment.
Can I make it with advantage? Saying that's like Alexander giving advantage for the help action.
Yes, you can.
Can I just recast sense heartbeat as well? Just to maybe look out for like some nervous people around us.
You send out sense heartbeat. 60-foot range, right?
Yes.
I would say everyone that is around you at the moment does in fact have a heartbeat. So Silas, you included, Grant, Solon, Alora, Alexander and Sergey, all of them do have heartbeats. With the sense heartbeat going out, you detect sort of the like racing heartbeats of some of the people within the factory buildings. Like you maybe take shelter behind a wall and you detect a a heartbeat behind you, but it's seemingly some sort of factory worker like banging with a hammer on a piece of metal. That's sort of the thing that you detect. You don't detect like distressed heartbeats.
Oh my God.
Sorry. You detect like heartbeats that are that are hard at work within the factory district, but not that many as you would expect. What are those perception checks, ladies and gentlemen?
Is 13?
It's a cake. 7 for me.
That's 1.
Okay.
Nice. So 13's the best. Let's go.
Really?
11.
Alora, you got... No, wait, we've got 13. Sorry?
Silas.
You and Solon begin sort of looking around, taking the lead in this. You don't see many people. You see the occasional worker walking around. You see, as you get sort of to the center of the industrial district, there are many sort of unconstructed buildings, like the classic, like those red beams that are built up in sort of a scaffolding sense, which is the skeleton of a building that still has to be built around. You see many of them around, but with the 13, these people, they're not being stealthy. You see one specific one, which is sort of in a large open area, devoid of many people, sort of in the center of the industrial district. There's a lot of dirt around you, a lot of bricks and building rubble and supplies that would be used to build these buildings eventually. You see a large skeleton structure of a building, just these many like I-beams that are scattered in a way to resemble the eventual shape of a building. You see one of them is oddly occupied with a lot of construction workers, at least more than 10 that are just sort of walking around.
I do point this out to the party. Can't afford, don't you think?
So just like a group of construction workers.
Yes, on the scaffolding, but
seeming.
Yes, seeming. Yeah. There's a bunch of construction workers here, but it's the only skeleton building in the area that has construction workers on it. That's what you see.
It's construction workers on a building that's busy being constructed. I don't see how that's suspicious.
I get it, but like there's other buildings as well, but it's the only lead we've got at the moment, don't you think so?
How far are they from us?
They're quite a ways away. I would say 120 feet. You see this. Getting closer will require a stealth check.
No, I do not get closer. I will cup my hands and just look up at them and yell as loud as I can. Hello! And just like wave my hand. Trying to get their attention.
Grant yells this. Immediately these individuals sort of look over. What's going on? And they look at you, Grant. What are the rest of you doing in this moment as Grant screams this out?
Immediately hiding.
Yeah, same.
Okay, stealth checks from everyone that is hiding.
Sergey, like he looks a bit done, but he also fucking, I don't know, gives a nod or a wave to the people sitting up there.
I trip over
He's not gonna try and
pipe.
hide.
Silas trips over a pipe and
then the Laura trips over
lays on the
Silas because he also got a 4.
I got an 8.
Nice.
So Silas trips over a pipe.
Oh, yes. See. Okay.
And then he just awkwardly waves.
Okay. Who got
while laying on the ground?
Scared.
Who got above a 10?
Oh.
Oh well.
Really?
Well done.
Only. Wait, who got above a 10? No one.
No what?
No one.
Okay. So as Grant screams out, you all shit and try to dodge for the crates and shit, and some of you trip over it, and these construction workers look at you. Like more than 10 of them look over at Grant, and you have all been noticed by them. What's going on down there?
Sorry to bother. Just wanted to know what you guys are doing up there.
I could ask the same of you. You don't look so good, friend. I think you should find a doctor and leave us to our work.
What work is that exactly?
They're like sort of, the one guy rubs his temples and it's just like, we are on a construction site. We are building the buildings. Please leave.
Alright. See, I knew they weren't bad guys. They just built this.
You say as all of them look upon
Sergey
all of you.
claps. Just like claps for Grant. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Grant, you scared the shit out of me, mate. Why'd you do that?
I mean, we wanted to know what they were doing. They were
Yeah.
right there, so I
But you
had
know,
to ask them.
Silas whispers this to Grant. But if they're bad people, they're not just gonna tell you they're bad
What
people.
are you whispering to each other over there?
They're not.
It's very suspicious. We will be calling the authorities if you don't leave.
Oh, it's a secret!
That does not make it better.
Well, don't worry.
We'll be on our way.
It's a
Sergey just
personal.
sounds, we'll be on
It's a
our
personal
way.
problem. I just tripped. Don't worry about
just
the personal
stop talking.
problem.
Just stop talking.
It's a bit
just
TMI,
push it back
actually.
down the alleyway.
You see them you see them whispering
It's
to
a
each
bit
other.
TMI. Silas just gets pushed
Yeah,
Okay.
just shut up. Just,
while he was talking. I'm just trying to make the situation better.
I don't think there's anything that can make the situation better.
No, if they call the authorities, maybe we can ask them for help. But the Ravens are bad guys.
We don't want. Does anybody else want to try
So
and explain this to
Are we
Grant?
gonna tell them that we broke into a building, kicked the door down, broke some crates, stole some merchandise, happened upon some map with information, and then we came here?
Sorry, I can't help but notice you are still standing and whispering to each other
Oh, no,
in
no,
the
I was
open.
pushing-
No. Once it
I
was in the
pushed them
alleyway,
like
it was
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, away.
Yeah, we got pushed away. So
Okay,
we're not
okay.
standing anymore.
Okay.
Did Laura know this area?
No, I wouldn't say so. You are unfamiliar with this area.
Nice. Well, would I know how a normal industrial area would look like, so thus I could decipher if something was out of place?
I'm gonna ask for either a history or or insight check. The DCs do vary.
That's higher. History. Oh, both +3. My goodness, 8.
For what check?
Insight.
With that, I mean, it's a bit strange to see a singular building occupied by so many people, and the surrounding buildings are basically not occupied or at all looking like they're being built. But other than that, you can't discern anything.
Well, I agree with Grant. Well, I agree that with Silas, it's something that's quite strange.
Strange. Exactly.
But
No,
they said they were
Laura
bad guys.
knows what's up. Laura knows what's up, eh? Look, I get what's Grain's
Sky
doing
is
here,
up.
but it's just weird. It's just weird.
Should I-
But look,
should
let's
I ask
just
them again?
find some place
No,
to go down
Grain.
for a bit.
Silas grabs Grain's arm before he can walk. No asking the guys any more questions. Right?
Yeah, alright.
Okay, cool. No more asking questions. Great. What are we gonna do? Gents
Guess we should
and
try and find a place to hunker down and
lads.
keep an eye out on anything suspicious.
Okay, so we can do that.
Can maybe try and find a place that has a view of those construction people that you find so suspicious.
Well, that would be yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
Or what about your devil hound? I talked to Laura, and I don't know if her fox is with her.
Yeah, Gage is always with her. So,
and I gesture towards the fox, your devil hound.
what you mean, Gidget? Gidget's not a devil fox. Gidget is lovely.
Was he created of magic?
No. No.
My insight check that.
Make an insight and deception or persuasion.
I mean, can't you see? It's like built or something. It's built.
I still have
Yes,
detect heartbeat up, by the way, so any fluctuations,
wow,
please
that
tell
was-
me.
That
Sergey,
was 15
she's clearly lying. The thrumming, like heart-shaped crystal within the creature's heart clearly is of magic.
Yes.
I think she's lying.
Thank you, Grant.
Grant with detect heartbeat up, still the same thing. Everyone around you has a heartbeat. But you all hear in the distance sort of, I don't know what the police sirens here would sound like, but you hear like the equivalent of a police siren, just like, and you hear a massive sort of mechanical movement apparatus or whatever you would call it, just sort of you see it moving towards the unbuilt building. It stops, it hunkers down, and sort of this four-legged mechanical transport thing that is clearly of the police. This is familiar to you all, and it sort of hunkers down to the floor, and two police officers get out with another two police officers in the back of it. One of the constables walks to the building site, and one of the construction workers walks down, speaks to this individual, and begins pointing in the rough direction that they saw you in last. And the officer nods, and they begin running back to their transport vehicle.
Alright, I think
we
that's
need
what
to get out of there.
Site. Yeah, is there an abandoned building or alleyway or something nearby that we could perhaps go and hide in?
This is going to be perception or investigation.
Okay. Both are equally.
Solus would also look.
Since Sergey is the one who is asking this question, so you can do it off advance.
Yeah.
Okay. 18.
Not so much of alleyways. It's quite open. This is a new construction yard, so it's hard to find cover of buildings. But there are some open warehouses that are still under construction that you could possibly hide beneath or behind. But you think that it's a matter of time before the Grand Garrison, who are the police force, would investigate those should they pursue their path of these seemingly suspicious individuals that these construction workers have told them about. So it's your choice. You might be able to hunker down for a moment, but you're unsure how long it may last.
Okay.
Maybe Vox was right, and we just need to do this at night.
Oh, I mean, as long as I can stay at home, because there's no time.
Oh, yeah. Grant, are we going home then? Then I can make Grant's sandwich finally.
I mean, if you guys really need another hand, I can maybe come with you at night if you need another hand, but it's not needed. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, we can just all go again at night, but I mean, I'm gonna stay for now. You guys can join up later. Yeah. So I don't know, but are there workers in one of the warehouses currently? Am I able to see?
With the perception check that you made, the one that you've identified does not have workers in, but you do see the occasional person walking in and out some of the adjacent warehouses.
Okay. Okay. If you guys want to go, you can go. We're gonna stay around a bit.
But some of us should probably tell Mr. Vox that. Yeah.
Everyone make a perception check for me quickly.
Everyone?
Yes.
Right. Sal's staying, by the way. But, yeah.
14.
That is a beautiful 6.
22.
22, you say. 17 and 22 would see this. So Grant and Alora, you spy two of these similar construction workers, quote unquote, lugging a very quite high perception check from Alora. A crate of the same make as those crates that you found in the hideout. It's sort of the same material, and they're seemingly ways away, lugging it towards that unfinished construction yard where all of those workers were perched up on the scaffolding. They seem to be moving it towards it. It looks like average construction material, but because you have previously seen that type of material that it's made out of, it strikes you as suspicious.
Hey, guys! Look over there.
What?
Isn't that the same crate that we found in the abandoned apartment? That you're dragging in the building?
Blimey, that is.
Don't all the crates look the same?
I'll
No,
go talk to them.
no.
No.
Silas grabbed him.
Grant's walking. Okay, well.
No, Silas grabbed him.
Gidge is also like biting him on the trouser pants.
It was the same crate as at that place. It tells you it's what's the word? I can't remember the word.
Oh, I think you guys can go back and you can report this to Fox or whatever. We're gonna stay behind and just keep an eye out for now. You can join us.
I'm gonna stay a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, well, you do your own thing then, because we're not gonna be associated with you while the Grand Garrison is coming. And I think Alexander and Sergei are gonna like, they're not gonna go in the warehouse, but they're gonna like go to a go to the side of it and then just like lean or sit against the wall and maybe just like start smoking a cigar or something. Just try to, I don't know, look inconspicuous, I guess.
Okay.
As Sergei like turns around, Grant is just gonna like tap him on the shoulder. Oh, okay, see you guys later. Then taps him on the shoulder, and he casts Scarlet Brand. Sleight of hand.
Make a sleight of hand check for me.
Wait, on who? On Sergei?
Don't worry about it.
Yes,
Sergei,
Sergei.
what is your passive perception, Sergei?
Not high enough for a 22. So
22 sleight of hand.
it's in line, so
Okay.
not remotely.
So whatever
high enough.
that spell does, y'all don't know. And Gwen taps you lightly on the shoulder and moves on.
Since Alex and Sergei removed themselves, Silas just like will give up and just like walk along with Alora and Grant because he doesn't want to be alone. Sitting weirdly alone, so
Grant and Silas, you would see Alora is very uncomfortable and quite like anxious that the Grand Garrison is quite near the police or quite close.
Why do you look so scared?
Oh, I just don't want them to see me.
what? The Grand Garrison?
Yeah, I just have a fear that they might recognize me, you know?
You see Silas's skin completely pale, like he wasn't concentrating. Then he heard you say it again. You just see his face pale immediately. But he just brushes it off. Yeah. We don't wanna be seen by those hooks, right? Okay, let's go there. Maybe they won't see us as much as they will see us here. Silas just quickly hurries to like a farther point.
Why are we so scared of them? Aren't we the good guys here?
No, we're not scared. We're not scared of them, right, Alora?
Well, I'm not scared of them. I'm just scared they recognize me. That's all.
Ooh.
Oh, are you scared of them, Silas?
I'm not
But
scared.
they're only mean to criminals. Oh,
I'm
are we
not scared.
criminals?
No.
Are
We're
we?
not criminals. What? Are we? No, I can't be.
Well, I mean, but
Are we criminals?
No,
Are we criminals?
If you start crying, I'm gonna start crying. Don't you
yeah,
dare.
me too, please.
Don't you dare. Hold your tears, mate.
Hey team, let's go.
No! You're gonna make me cry. We're not criminals.
Well, we are working with quite the sketchy bunch of people.
Yeah,
You guys
but
can be
we're
the
not
gas
criminals.
team. Grant, Laura, and Silence.
Oh, gas no brakes.
we're not criminals, okay? Even if you know even if Alex is Sergei are criminals, which seems very likely. What? Silas touches his heart and he's just like he just comes towards Grit and just like gives him a hug.
Yeah, no, Laura also gives him a hug.
That's so stupid. No. How can they do that? How dare they?
Try to save me, right?
How can they save you?
Yeah, all of them. It's just crying and fighting in the
So are you guys just standing in the open, hugging your
Not in the open.
A random alleyway. Oh my god.
The police just comes around the corner.
You might want to move away from this part, not gonna lie. I was
These
just
guys want to do pebble hunting to make us feel
You do
Although
hear
it's
some.
fantastic,
You
bro.
do hear some footsteps coming around the corners.
Oh shit, okay, guys, we need to go. I hear footsteps.
Yeah, let's go home. Let's get home.
Come on, great, come on.
We stop by the river and do some people hunting on the way.
Yeah. We just go away.
You all
The sniffling trio just marches on to the pebble hunt.
you all begin to move. Solon, what are you doing? Because you were with this team.
Yeah, no, Solid is staying behind. I know, Sergei said that everyone needs to go, basically. Or they need to do their own thing, but yeah, Solon is just gonna stick with the brothers for now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he said if they wanted to go back, they could. So
Yeah. So
it'd be fine. If
sorry, Sergei, you notice the others going, but you see Solon stepping up towards you.
deciding to stay as well.
I'm just curious to see what's gonna happen.
Well, we'll grab a smoke and try not to look too suspicious. And I hand him a thick cigar.
Solon will go at it.
Okay.
I think for Flare, I'll try Sergei will sort of flick his fingers, but that'll create a spark to light the cigar.
Okay.
That Solon is holding.
And with that, you can either make a deception, stealth, or performance check. It's your choice.
Deception, stealth, or
I'll go for a performance. Can I go with advantage with me and
No, because Alexander is also there, it's gonna be for both of you. So just roll twice and then we'll take the second roll as Alexander's.
Okay.
Got a 23 deception.
Okay. I got a 7, Alexander got a 21. So
Okay.
he's
Around the
obviously
corner,
much
you
better.
hear footsteps coming around, and you see two officers dressed in regalia, that sort of dark blue rimmed with gold and epaulets and things. Saber on the side and a single palm pistol at the right of them. They walk up to you. You are all towering above them. They're sort of like looking up, and they're like, "Hey, citizen," and they're gonna roll an insight check. Ooh.
Yeah, and I think with the 7, Sergei just coughs because we'll say it's Alexander's cigars and it's much more potent than he's used
Fair
to.
enough.
So that's why Alexander is handling it pretty good. And I'm not. So I'm just like,
The officer walks and addresses you. Greetings there, fair citizens. We've heard a call of a sort of disturbance within this area. Do you perhaps have anything to do with it? I might ask.
Oh yes, we do apologize. No, we were escorting a group of people that weren't necessarily familiar with the area, and guess you could say they were tourists of some sorts, and you know how excitable people that the higher class people when they get to these areas.
Tourists, tourists, you say, yeah? Tourists touring the Southern Industrial District. This is a area under construction. I don't really see how, this would be some sort of tourist attraction. Might you explain that to me?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said you could say they were tourists of sorts.
Well, then,
they were interested to see how things were being built here.
Well, then what sort of tourists were they?
They're
Don't
just
put words
interested in
my
the
mouth.
architecture.
He gets agitated. Like he says, don't put words. I did not call them tourists.
Make a deception check for me. You can make it with advantage because
What?
Solon is helping you.
He doesn't feel like he's deceiving as he said, they could be cold or sorts. But yeah, okay.
This is all persuasion. Deception or persuasion.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, it's 23.
Okay. He goes, well then, fair citizen. He looks at you with your two mechanical arms.
No,
Fair day to you.
Look at the day. I definitely wear something to cover the arms up.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
Alright.
Interesting spikes poking, through that clothing of yours. But I won't inquire about that because that is your personal life, dear citizen. Please keep up the law, and may the Auric watch over you. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And they just walk off.
Thank you, officer.
Just gives the nod.
Are you wearing your paladin regalia, Solon? Like armor?
I'm not exactly sure. I actually want to ask that question because when we originally said, you said he would be wearing it, so I guess so. Actually,
You can choose if you'd like the original shit you got from the church, or maybe this is just some chainmail that you just happen to have that you're wearing now since your situation. It's your choice.
No, I think maybe he's just wearing something. I think his paladin stuff is tucked away in his house for now.
Okay, in that
I think
case,
it's just normal.
They just nod at you and they move on.
Can I? Yeah, before they go, I want to just stop them and be like, sorry, officers.
Yes.
If you want to, you can maybe tell one of the construction workers to come over here, and we will apologize personally to them, if that would make you feel a bit better. Or them a bit better.
Make a persuasion check.
$18.
Natural one on the inside. Sure. I'll be happy to do that for you, citizen. Keep up the law, and they walk off in the direction of the structure that is half built.
Okay.
Moments later.
I think,
yep. Continue.
Yeah, Alexander, I think he'll know what's about, or like what's gonna happen. But I think, yeah, Sergei will just tell Solon, okay, and like, get ready. We're gonna take this person out.
Wait, what? I thought we were just gonna say sorry. Ask maybe a question or two.
Yeah, we'll say sorry with our fists. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I think we'll wait at the ready for a construction worker to come around the corner. We're going to immediately jump him, but yeah, just wait for them to come.
Okay. You wait a few moments, and eventually a cloaked individual steps into the room. So I'm assuming you're sort of waiting within this empty warehouse, and then the person will step through the door and you would jump him.
Yeah, I think we won't jump them immediately. I'd say like we'll look, the same as we were, like just like leaning a bit or like look casual. But when I see the person coming in, I'll definitely like get off from leaning against the wall and then walk a bit towards the person. Okay. And yeah, do I see any features or just the cloak?
A few moments pass. Walking into this, the only light source is the light from the door that is open, that is shining in. You, as the three shadowy figures, stand within the shadows, and this dark cloaked individual walks in. Other than the construction workers that you've seen out there, they just sort of wear almost peasant clothes as they're doing their construction work. But in this moment, a full member of the Ravens walks into the room, cloaked in.
How many members?
One.
Just one.
One. Walks into the room, dark cloaked, with that sort of like a little brooch of a raven's feather on his like right chest area. this individual walks in and stops dead in his tracks when he walks into the room, seemingly with an awareness, and he stands there.
I'll start slowly approaching him and like flick the cigar to the side. Just go, are you one of the construction workers that we so unjustly bothered earlier?
The man pulls away the hood of his cloak to reveal a scar over the nose and a smooth, dark brown earth genasi skin. And he says, "Do I look like a construction worker to you?"
Is this the guy from the
Not
tavern?
necessarily.
Sorry. Because someone
Yeah,
said
I'm assuming.
I assume it's the same.
Yes, you
Genasi from the
you
tavern.
immediately recognize him. You know,
I'll just go.
I really thought that you might have been a threat to us in some way. But your little stunt there with your pale friend showing himself to all of us, quite stupid, I would say. Where are the rest of you hiding?
Stupid maybe, but it was quite entertaining, not gonna lie. And I keep slowly progressing towards him. Just like walking with my one hand in my like pants pocket and the other one like gesturing as I'm talking. And the rest are not here. It's just us. So you don't have to worry about the thing, but I might ask you the same thing. Are you here alone as I try and like peer behind him through the door?
My friend, it seems that you've been stalking us for quite a while now, and I recognize you and all of your little crew. I've reported your dealings to our captain. And no,
And who's your captain?
that's not,
If I may ask. I'm a very curious individual.
that's not something you need to know. All that I can tell you is that I would be stupid to be entering this place alone. Let me tell you one thing.
But
We're
indeed,
here strictly on business, blood butchers. I think that is something that you can appreciate and respect. So why don't you stay out of our fucking way? And we can go by our merry way as if this never happened in the first place.
Look, I'm going easy on you right now for you having beat up Vox so badly last night. That was a very good sight to see.
Oh, so
but,
it was an associate of you. I figured. That
well, I'm
dark...
sure you've seen him in the tavern.
Yes, that dark-masked individual. I wasn't really sure if he was part of your little crew. He seemed quite distant, but now your words do confirm it to me. I suggest...
How close am I to him? Sorry.
I think you're squaring up to him. You're like next to him right now. He does not care. He's like in your face, and he looks up at you, and he just says... just goes... Well, consider this a warning. I think you should leave this place. Okay? Don't pursue us any further. We've got our own business, and I suggest you keep your ruddy little fingers out of it. And we won't bother you. It's nothing off of your back to leave us alone. At least that's how I see it. But if you'd like, we can make this difficult, and you hear a sound at the side of him as he sort of reaches his hand to the side of his belt.
I think, yeah, Solon, if you want to do anything.
No, Solon would just like, when he said he's not a fool to come alone, can Solon look around, see if he can see anyone else in the area?
Make a perception check.
17.
Something that you have not noticed, but in the eye beams that cross the roof of this building that you're in, the supports of the roof, there are a battalion of people there. There's at least, I would say in this case, 6 individuals sitting in the rafters trained with crossbows on Sergei at the moment. And there may be more. I think you hear a bit of footsteps around the building. But other than that, no. But you're definitely surrounded.
Sergey definitely looks like he wants to start a fight, so if you want to stop him soon, then now's the time.
No, like the Earth Genasi narrows his eyes. Don't do this.
I would say Solon would have stood behind the Genasi when he went to look, and then now when he saw all the people on Sergey, I think he'll walk closer, just take him by the shoulder, and just I think we need to get out.
You gesture towards the archers.
Yeah, I think as he says that, he will nod his head back to where the archers were at.
Well, if you are one thing, you're definitely a coward. I say to the Earth Genasi, and I'll walk past him, but I'll fucking bump his shoulder with mine.
He almost is knocked off of his feet, and he just goes, "Am I a coward? Or am I just smarter than you?"
Don't really see the difference, and I'll just walk away.
Sort of slowly turns
and I'm
around.
assuming the rest follow.
Yeah.
He sort of just turns around, crosses his arms as all of you begin to leave. And it just says, "If you ever return here, it'll be your heads on a pike."
Sergey laughs out loud. And I think maybe Alexander as well.
Indeed.
Hello, Stefan.
Hi.
And you all make it out. And do you go to the HVC, or where are you going?
What do Laura, Grant, and Silas?
I'm the brothers. Where are you guys going?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, doesn't really see a point staying. If we get caught again, shit's gonna get fucked. So, yeah, I think probably make our way there.
Okay. Okay, Alora, Grant, and Silas, anything you specifically would like to do, or are you just going to the HVC?
Laura would like to talk to Mr. Vox.
Okay, so Vox is at the HVC right now, so I think you all, for the sake of brevity, convene at the HVC, and that's where...
Also, we did a quick little pebble hunt on the way and found nothing.
Yeah.
I would just like to note, before Vox went to the HVC, he would have liked to peek into the tavern to see if the Earth Genasi's father is still working there.
Make a perception check.
14?
You sort of peek in quickly, and you do see this individual that you've come to know as Jador Kesho. His son being Escher Kesho, which is this Earth Genasi working for the Ravens. He's sort of just sitting with his face in his hands, just thinking, contemplating, and you see Betty Germana, the proprietor of this inn, sitting across from him. The inn is slightly busy, but you see they're sitting sort of separately at a table, maybe at the bar even, and they're just heavily talking, and you can see the father is very frustrated. He almost bangs his hand against the counter, and he's almost in a heated argument, and Betty is trying to calm him down, but he is just very frustrated, almost disappointed, if you could say. But he is still there.
I think, I don't know if Shiloh would have also sticked around as I just peeked into the building.
Shiloh, are you there?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, Shiloh definitely followed you. Obviously, you both went to the HVC, maybe in the most awkward silence ever. And I think he might have also stopped in his tracks once he realized that you were just peeking into the tavern.
I think you see Vox peeking in, and then he looks around a bit, and then after some silence, you could have sworn you heard tiny, very suppressed, muffled laugh of some sort, just like. But it's like very subtle, and he kind of just almost happily, well, not happily, but quickly raises up again from his prone position, and he just goes to the headquarters, and he will make immediate way for Fulon's office.
Yeah, Shiloh does the same, I guess.
Okay. With that, you all arrive. The other three that stayed behind will be there shortly. But anyone that is now at the HVC, which would be Fox and Shiloh, I think. Anything you'd like to do?
Yes. So, I think during the day, as soon as he gets the chance, Vox will go to Fulon, kind of privately in his office. And he'll just kind of shake the dragon out of his cloak again. And he'll whisper a bit into the dragon's ear. And the dragon will be, will then kind of crawl up to Fulon. And then he'll be like,
Well, I suppose.
Whoa! Okay. One moment, please. Sorry. And Fulon is sort of turned his back against you. He sort of is standing up. He begins to fiddle with something, and it almost looks like he zips up. It almost looks like he zips up his trousers, but that's not what's happening. He's like, and then you hear, and then he looks back at you, looking at you that he doesn't, that you're not looking.
Dragon's finger is still raised in the air, just frozen.
And Fulon just like puts his hands on the metal case that's behind his desk and just closes it and is like, "You did not see anything." And he sort of walks back to you, sits on the chair. So, anything to report? You back quite early. Good news?
I do apologize for the intrusion. Me and Vox still need to work on the knocking thing. Yes. Well, anyway, not to disturb you with your clearly very important business, we simply wish to ask you if you have a certain item in possession that might help us.
I've got many items in my possession, but what specifically are you talking about?
Well, I don't suppose you would have any chloroform to spare by any chance? Enough quantity to subdue a full adult human male, possibly Earth Genasi.
Like, he raises an eyebrow. A few moments of silence follows. What question is that? Of course I have got chloroform. And he opens his front desk and is like, pulls out a little case and is like, how many do you need? And opens it up.
Well, enough to tranquilize at least 200 pounds of living organism, preferably.
Well then, and he sort of fiddles around a bit. You see him take out like a bottle of some sort, drops a few drops onto a handkerchief, and he's like, and he adeptly folds it, puts a little ribbon on it, puts it in like a like plastic Ziploc bag, and he like
both Fox and Sylvester's eye just follow Fulon's movements like a cat with razors.
He's like, yes, it comes here, 0.5 grams of this, and just smoke cloud with a skull in it just emits above him, and it's like, that's good. And he puts the handkerchief in a Ziploc bag. Don't inhale this. It is very much enough to tranquilize a 200-pound living being. There you go. And he just slides it across the table.
Well then, splendid.
This
day couldn't get any better.
What might you be doing with this? Trust me, I have tried it before. Chloroform is not good for recreational use. So might I just ask, what are you doing with it exactly?
I can assure you, Mr. Fulon, we do not intend to consume the substance by ourselves, by any means.
And he just kind of raises his eyebrow and grins his eyes a bit at your previous statement. There's like a few seconds of silence.
Like, Fulon's mouth just hangs open and he's like, right.
We simply wish to use this as a potential method of bargaining, so to speak. Something that might help us a lot in absolving this whole Ravens case, potentially.
And he gives this somewhat sinister grin. Even for a little dragon, it seems a bit like something ominous behind that little smile.
I hope this is for the bad guys, if you know what I mean. I trust your judgment, just don't go doing something stupid.
Of course. It's not like we're going to murder anyone.
And he looks at Vox.
Yet.
Right. Murdering has its place, just be careful how you use it, please.
Yes, well, I suppose we should get going then. Once again, thank you, Mr. Fulon. We will put this to good use.
Right. Okay. And he sort of slips a second pair of goggles onto the goggles he's currently wearing, picks up like a wrench, and he like turns around. Let me know how the mission goes. He turns around and he goes by his business.
The dragon just slithers into Vox's cloak once more, and Vox, like a rusty Star Wars droid, just inhumanly rotates around again and just inaudibly leaves the room without a trace, heading towards the tavern.
Oh, yes. Shiloh, I would see Vox coming out of the office, and this is where you find yourself. You see him almost hastily rushing outwards.
Shiloh is smart enough to deduce what exactly is going to happen, putting two and two together, but...
I would like to note we did have this meeting in private.
Yes, but I did see you stare into the tavern at the man, and I saw you walk out with chloroform, so...
Make an insight check, because I think you would have stored whatever he got from Fulon in a private area. Just make an insight check for me.
Insight.
Vox, you can make a deception check for me, please.
I got a 15.
Okay. You don't know what method he wants to use, but you can clearly deduce that he is after someone in that tavern. Possibly the father of this Earth Genasi.
Fair enough. Yeah, he ignores that. And,
Wow, fucker.
Yeah, he doesn't really care. And I think he will just also slide into the office for a second. So literally, just as Vox leaves,
he
thinks he can finally be at peace, but alas.
Vox, I swear if you... And he turns around. Oh, Shiloh. Sorry about that. He stows the wrench in his clothing. His clothing is way too small for the wrench, but it just fits in there perfectly. He props up he has two sets of goggles on. He props up the top set. And he props up the second set. Anything I might do for you now? You back so early with Vox. I hope the mission went successfully.
Yes, one could say so, definitely. Fulon, I hate to ask for this, but I might be in need of some coin, if you would be so kind.
Of course, I could see what I can muster. For what is this exactly?
I need to rebuild my homunculus, and I need to do it as soon as possible, because, to be frank, Herr Fulon, the team that you have assembled, there's the ones that there are ones that I don't trust, and then there are ones that I just don't trust to be of any use. And I need something that I know would be able to help with what I want.
Right.
And Clockwork is the most trustworthy, so I need to rebuild them, and for that I need new parts, and for new parts I need money, so yes.
Right. How much are we talking about? I could definitely sponsor you if that is what you're looking for.
Yeah, Axel said Shiloh would know what parts he needs, right?
Yeah, I would say it's about like maybe 10 to 20 gold pieces worth of machinery.
Maybe 50 gold.
Oh, yeesh. That's, my boy. You do know that we're living in an abandoned apartment building. Funds are not exactly in the green at the moment. 50 gold.
Fine. 20 gold if you want to be stingy.
He sort of runs his fingers over the desk. Give me a moment. He sort of rummages through his left bottom desk. You hear many locks unlocking, and he takes out this sort of green lockbox of some sort. It looks very rusty and old, and he's like, well, and he thinks for himself, looking at you, looking at the box, looking into this, like, the air for a moment. How much do I really want to save this city? He ponders to himself. And he opens the box, empties it out, and like 17 gold and 5 silver pieces falls out. And he goes, and he, like, one moment, he walks to one of his plants that are within the room. He digs his finger into the dirt, and he pulls out another 2 gold pieces. One moment, and he, like, straight up 5 minutes, he begins walking around the room. And he reaches into his pocket, pulls out another gold piece, and he puts it on the table. And he counts out 20 gold pieces, and he takes the 5 silver back to him, and he's just like ponders, looking at the silver for one moment. He's like, how important is this fucking monkey to you?
Very helpful, on. Very.
And can I count on your continued support in the hopes that we can find the mysteries to the city, including your raven friend?
He just stares at you and says nothing. With just a blank expression on his mouth.
Fine, take it, and he like shoves the money, and he just like puts his like rests his hand on his one arm, and he's like shit. He mutters to himself.
Shiloh just nods his head. Thank you. And when he turned around, for the first time since he has woken up, he has a little smirk on his face.
And I'm assuming you're gonna sort of use this time to rebuild your servant.
We don't have to. Yeah, we don't
okay,
have to.
I would say you have
you
have enough time to buy it and repair your monkey, so you can infuse clockwork once again. By this time, the other 3 enter the building: Grant, Alora, and Silas. As you do, anything you would like to do?
Well, I guess they'll just. Where's Vox currently?
He is hiding somewhere.
Subduing someone.
Well,
You don't see Vox.
I guess Silas, Laura, and Gren will just walk in, and Laura will say like, "Well, it's such a shame that we couldn't find any pebbles. Maybe next time.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame. It sucked. Like that one thing really looked like a rock, but it was just like, I was so mad. I think I touched like some sort of poop. I'm gonna go wash my hands, man.
Well, I'm gonna go look for Mr. Vox. Grant, do you want to come with me?
I'd like a sandwich, yeah.
Well, I actually said we're gonna look for Mr. Vox, but a sandwich is actually a good idea.
Oh, sorry. I'm so hungry, I must be hearing things.
Well, I'm gonna go knock on Vox's room, and then she goes to his door and knocks at it.
I think Laura, when you arrive at Vox's room, you see there's yet another piss off sticker slapped at the bottom of the door. Just now almost completely covering the entire door with like warning signs and do not enter.
Mr. Vox, I swear I can read, but I really need to talk to you.
Grant tries the door handle.
Quint!
The door is locked.
Hmm.
And there's
It
no
usually
one.
works.
Oh well. Come on, Gwen. Let me go make you that sandwich. Do you want anchovies again?
Good.
I don't know what those are, but yes.
Alright. I don't know. Guess I'll just head to the kitchen. Laura keeping an eye out for Vox.
Okay.
Is Laura hearing like mechanical tools coming from Shiloh's bedroom though?
Shiloh. Leave that one up to you.
Shiloh, you're muted.
Shiloh!
Shiloh has
Shiloh,
headphones on while
Just
repairing.
run, I'm here.
Laura.
Is Laura hearing mechanical noises from your door?
I think because you guys went to a completely different district and Shiloh just had to go outside to Hilda's hutch or something. I think by this time what you would actually hear is Shiloh speaking with someone that you don't know. You just hear the muffled voice of a German accent coming from the room.
Hey, Brent, do you think Shiloh's finally lost it?
Lost what?
His marbles.
He had marbles?
Grand. There's so much I have to teach you. You know, there's a thing called... I can't remember what it's called. Idioms. No, it's een vergelijking.
Yes.
Saying, yeah.
Comparisons.
A simile, that's the word I'm looking for. A thing called a simile.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you while we're eating lunch. Come on.
Alright.
Cool.
So I guess I just
Okay.
head upstairs.
You also hear that sound coming from the other side of the door.
Oh, that idiot monkey is back. Don't worry about it, Gidget Bull. You don't have to worry. Yeah.
As that is happening, I just want to confirm with Solon, Sergey, and Alexander, you all have been sort of scouting out the area. You've now confronted one of the ravens, but he was not alone. Had a little chat, a little warning from him saying to stay away from all of you. No, from them, rather, not to get mixed up in their business. And you had to walk out as you were surrounded. But you're now walking back to the HVC, is that correct?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think so.
but I would like to just keep an eye out to see if we are being followed.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Can I give him advantage? So, yeah, I would think.
Yes, you can.
Okay, rather you do it with advantage then, bro. My
Alexander
perception
doesn't
is
care.
trash.
He just really wants us to be followed and hopefully ambushed. The faster we get stuck in a fight.
I'll do my own perception check then. Which is an 8.
You're not being followed.
Nice.
You're fine.
An advantage. But can he not do it with advantage?
Yes, you can do it with advantage.
Giving him the
Solo.
Oh. 15.
You're not being followed.
Cool. Yeah, I think we're just making our way
Okay, and
back to the HVC.
you all eventually arrive at the HVC.
Is it like late afternoon when we arrive at the HVC?
I would say it's like 4 going on 5 o'clock. Solon, you can feel the solar energy of the twin suns beginning to slowly wane within you.
No.
But with that, as you enter the building, we go to Vox. What the fuck have you been doing, Vox?
Vox is chilling for now. On a roof. Which happens to be the tavern's roof. Just basically waiting for a certain Earth Genasi individual to close his night shift.
Okay, you do know the night shifts go on pretty late. He only closes about at 12, but it's your choice. As you wait there, stalking him, the rest of you, anything you'd like to do?
I think Grant's probably just hanging out, like eating a sandwich, learning about idioms.
I think Silas went to his room again, and it's been very quiet in there.
Okay, I imagine Laura has found a chalkboard of some sort behind a dusty table, and you found a piece of chalk, and you're like drawing out like the English language on it and explaining idioms and shit at the head table.
While Grant is sitting there with the most disgustingest looking sandwich
just
ever.
anchovies and everything. But Grant, this is the best food you've ever eaten, so you're just going for it.
This is some of the food I've ever eaten.
This is some of the food you've ever eaten, other than whatever it is you've eaten before. But yeah.
So Silas walking in on it.
Silas is nowhere to be found. So
Yeah, Silas is nowhere to be found.
Oh, I misheard then.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to do? Chat.
No, Shiloh was just chilling.
If people hear us coming in and they want to ask questions or whatever, but otherwise I think we'll just go chill in our room. But I think Sergey would like to keep an ear out for when the night shift people are gonna go investigate or whatever.
Yeah, Laura, she's continuing her lesson.
I think, Laura, are you guys in the kitchen?
Yep.
Yeah, I think while you're in the middle of your little lesson, Shiloh just walks in, but completely ignores you, and starts to just rummage through the cabinets. It looks like he's searching for something, but every single edible thing that he sees, he just takes out and he quickly looks at it and then he throws it back. And he makes quite a mess of the inside of these cabinets, as well as in maybe also through there's a fridge, right? So he goes through the fridge as well.
Oh, well, hi, Shiloh. Good to see you out of your room. Do you want a sandwich?
You see him take out an old slice of ham or something. It's already, it's 2 months old, and it's not even pink anymore. It's green now, and he just sniffs, and then he throws it back into the. And
Shiloh.
if you were to look at his face now as he stands up, there is a noticeable change in terms of what you've seen, because so far the range of expressions that you've seen are about as
None.
much as a rock. Yes, he has displayed basically no emotion here and there, maybe a smirk or a frown, but basically nothing. Now you note there's a noticeable it looks like he's starting to crack or something.
Wonderful. I cast sense heartbeat.
You cast sense heartbeat on myself.
Give me one moment.
Well, it's an area of effect,
Keegan,
but yeah.
Keegan,
What's your?
are you gonna tell him or shall I?
You know what? I've done all of the other ones in public. Laura has a heartbeat. Shiloh does not have a heartbeat.
Grant is busy chewing a piece of the sandwich, and he just goes.
Are you staring at me?
Yes, intently.
What are you looking at, pale boy?
Hey, don't.
You don't. You.
I don't. I. What? He just.
Grant just stands up and walks closer to you.
Hey, what?
What is he doing? Why is he doing that?
I don't know.
Just
Fraulein, please
still
tell him,
for a
please tell him
second.
to stop.
Well, maybe she's gonna give you a hug, Shallow.
No, I don't want to hug. I don't want to hug.
Stretch out my finger and like touch your chest right above where your heart should be, and I cast adrenaline rush on you. Like make your heart pump if you have one.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Me, okay.
Yes.
23.
So, you touch him. You cast Adrenaline Rush on him. You feel that you can still cast the spell on him. But its nature is different from blood. And when you do this, you notice there is no blood in his system. You touch him, and Charlie, you feel electricity jolt through your body.
What is he doing? Why is he doing that? I
You
don't like
feel
that. I don't like that.
excited and like you could run a marathon. And 6 seconds later, it sort of calms down. Grant,
And you feel drained.
yeah, you
quite
feel
tired.
for a few
I
moments.
think
What the hell are
in that adrenaline rush, like few seconds, his goggles once again start to glow turquoise very brightly, and then as it fades away, also the light also fades away.
Alora's gonna go stand in between these two because she's just like,
Shiloh
what the hell?
points his gun at you.
So, Grant, just for context, you cast Adrenaline Rush. It had the same effect, but your magic went through a different medium than blood. You're unsure of that medium, but what you know
But it
is...
still worked.
Yeah, it worked, but this individual does not have a heartbeat. He does not have blood in his body. He does not have blood in his body.
And he's pointing a gun at your nose.
Hey, then Laura's gonna go, boys, calm down, please.
What the fuck was that?
I just needed to know.
No, what?
What the hell's happening here?
What are you made of?
What?
Oh, Gwen, did you not have biology? I could
No.
explain that to you as well.
No. You don't understand. And Grant just like again takes his one hand and like rips his well not rips, just slightly cuts his pulse open with the fingernail. Like lets it drip.
Shiloh or yours?
My own.
Okay.
I'm made of flesh and blood. You're made of something else.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, what I mean, and I will attempt to take his hand and do the same, but slowly,
He does
not
not. He
threateningly.
does. Yeah. He does not allow you to touch him again.
He sort of rips
I
away.
suggest you stay out of my way from now on, pale man.
Oh no.
Is that understood?
Hey, let's just calm down, alright? We're still a team. We still need to work together. Can we just talk this out peacefully?
I need to know what you're made of. It's so different. It makes
Grant,
no sense.
respect each other's boundaries, alright?
This freak has no idea what he's talking about, obviously. He's
As far as I can
unstable.
tell, you're the only freak here. All of us have flesh and blood.
He once again turns expressionless, I think.
Shiloh, is he telling the truth?
I think he starts to get a worried look on his face. And then it like disappears into nothing, and then he just storms out of the room, and you just hear a loud
Oh.
bang as he shoves his door closed.
Grant. What was that?
You don't get it. He's not like us. He's
Even if he's not like us, does that give you the right to treat him like that?
I was only trying to find out. He's
I know,
like
but
your little thingy. And he just points to Gidget. He's not real, he's fake.
you mean he's a machine?
I think so.
That would explain a lot, to be honest, but you still don't go up to people and try to slash their veins. Not nice.
No, I was gonna fix it.
I know you were gonna fix it, but people don't see it like that. People see you come up to them, you're gonna hurt them.
Yeah, I guess I can be a bit threatening.
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen now between you and Shiloh, but you better go apologize eventually. Because that was a bit uncalled
Let me
for.
just finish my sandwich first. And Ben just looks back at his half-eaten sandwich, licks his lips.
Well, I'm gonna go check on Shiloh. I don't know. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And then she'll make her way down the stairs. Is anyone else down the stairs? She's gonna see in the hallway.
Ben just stays upstairs, by the way.
Yeah, so no one else in the hallway. She's gonna knock on
I think.
Shadow's door. Yeah?
Oh no, carry on.
She's gonna knock on Shadow's door. Hey, Shadow, I know you're probably not gonna want to talk to me, and that's totally fine. I understand.
The door opens in your face. And it's just Shadow staring down at you. What do you want, Fräulein?
I just want to tell you that your secret's safe with me. If you don't want anyone else to know.
What secret? What did he tell you? You can't trust anything that thing says. Obviously, there's something wrong with him.
No.
Just like there's something wrong with everyone else in this group. Including you. Spoiled, rich brat. Ungrateful where she came from. Hiding away from her family.
Well, fuck you too.
Yes! Yeah! All gas, all gas.
Let's go!
Bruh.
Shadow just closes the door and goes sulk again. Oh god, het om so mean te wees, damn.
You can die for stealing my seal, I know.
I'm sorry.
Character development.
Yes, guys, okay, hello, episode 3. Goeie bliksem. Okay.
Op hierdie stadium gaan sy character develop om in 'n flippin' shallow grave in beland.
As this is happening, Laura, do you do anything else?
He just storms very loudly past like Vox's room, so everyone in their rooms would just like hear someone stomping and then smashing her door closed.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. That's a 11.
In this rage, you just sort of slam the door closed with all of these feelings upon you, and you don't see anything else. Anyone else for something? Then we'll move on to Vox.
I would like to do one last thing. I think Shiloh, with all this shit that he's being accused of, I think he'll just go sit upright on his bed, and he'll just. I think after yelling at Laura like that, he turns around and Clockwork, the copper monkey thing, just stands there with his arms crossed, just shaking his head. What are you looking at? Shiva's annoying, and he goes to sit on his bed, and he takes off his goggles and just puts it next to him, and obviously, no one can see this, but the two turquoise lights that he has, that his eyes like emit, kind of lights the room a little bit, and he will try to recall anything from his past.
Make a history check.
If I
for
can
me.
do so. 3. That's not really good. That's an 8.
You like a old school video camera, you flip through your memories. You see the image of this individual's face, a man with a well-kept beard and a curly mustache, but it's obscured. That is all that you see, and you come out of that vision.
He just, in frustration, just throws his pillow against the wall. But, yeah, it's not very satisfying because it is a pillow. Yeah, and that's it.
Alora, I would say with that 11 perception check previously, looking through the hole between you and Vox's room, you do notice that Vox is not in his room. But on that note, is there anything you'd all like to do before we move on to Vox?
Nope.
No. Laura's pissed.
Vox.
Yellow.
10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and the patrons of the Toad Princess begin to slowly cipher out and go go by their drunken ways and go back to their homes. And eventually, you see Jador Kesho walk out of the door and stand sort of in the light of the electric lanterns from the inside. And he just like puts both his arms on the railing of the front sort of stoop area of the Toad Princess. You're standing on the roof just above that. Like, you could jump on him and just like stab a dagger in his neck if you'd like to, but that's like sort of situation that you're in. But you just see him walk out there after the shift, and he's just looks stressed. He's just breathing heavily. This is obviously has come to some sort of realization, and is just like breathing heavily on the while holding onto the railing, and he just hits the railing once again, and he's like, "Shit!" Says to himself. A shadow encompasses him, and you see Betty Germana walk out, and you hear, "Jador, is little Escher still in your mind?" He's like, "Well, of course. He's my son. He's been working with us for so many years. And one day he just disappears, and now those strange regulars of yours come spouting some sort of nonsense about him. I don't know what to believe anymore. I mean, and he's just like, it's okay. He's a good lad. He works hard for his coin. He's got ambition of what you've told me before. He wants to become an architect, right?" He's like, yes. He's told me this many times. That's why I toil away in the industrial district all day. That's why I bring in this money, and then for the night shifts I work at you. I've had this conversation with you before. Yes, I know. You know what? We don't know all of the variables in this equation at the moment, and I know he's been missing for a bit over a day, but I think we should give him some time to reconsider whatever he's doing, be it his involvement in whatever illicit gang relationships or whatever. And I think the good lad in him will come out. He'll come running back here. I know him. And he's just like,
Vox kind of muffles under his breath a bit, but very, very softly, of course.
and he's just like, but there's no way for us to know that. I mean, obviously I want the best for my son, but I don't know what else to give him. I've given him the guidance and the know-how. I've given him the support, and now apparently he raids our stores for alcohol, and I don't know what the Ravens are involved in, but I just can't bear the thought of him having any involvement with that. I have to find him. And she's just like, alright, I understand. I think take one more night. We'll talk about it again in the morning. We need some time to think about this. What would he do in this situation? Where would he go? I'm sorry, G-Door, but this is going to be something we're going to have to work through. And just know, even if he's involved in whatever illicit business, we'll help him get out of it, alright? And I'll maybe speak to that Foulon fellow. He seems to have a lot of connections. Maybe we could get him on the case. I'm not sure. And he's just like, okay. You're right. And this sort of big, muscular Genasi man packs up his things, puts on a backpack, and begins moving through the city.
Just before he departs, Vox just kind of perks on the roof there, like a stone gargoyle statue, just observing and taking notes from the whole conversation. But as what's his name again? Sorry,
Jador.
The dad.
Jador. It's Jidor. Jador. And then the son, for everyone's reference, is Escher. Escher. Escher.
Okay. I think as they listen into Jador talking, I think after a while, especially after him explaining his whole ordeal with his son, I think Sylvester's head kind of concernedly like pokes out from Vox's cloak, and he just kind of continues shifting his attention from Jador to Vox, and then back to Jador the whole time. And then just as Jador leaves, I think Sylvester like hesitantly looks up at Vox, and he's like,
You know, Vox, Mr. Jador seems like a good man. A hard-working one, at least. This is quite low, don't you think? I know, but... You know, this reminds me of someone, Vox. This is much like your own father that you were about to do. Oh, yes, my apologies. Sorry. I didn't want to bring that up.
and then Vox just kind of tucks him under his coat again, and he's going to essentially kind of just see the general direction in which Jador is heading, and he will try to essentially pace ahead of him a bit, silently, and just wait. I assume he's walking on the pavement, right? Like
yes,
the sidewalk.
Yes, the sidewalk.
Okay. Are there like any alleyways like situated in front of the sidewalk to the side?
I'm gonna say make a stealth check for me. And then that will determine if you can seek out alleyways and things like that to be able to stay in the shadows.
Natural 20.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. So I will explain to you where Jador goes, and you perfectly follow him. You can be wherever you'd like as you follow him. You watch him walk a ways off, and you watch him stop at a tram stop. Just a little roof thingy propped up by two pillars, and you see a midnight tram. Like the trams run 24 hours, but there's obviously more when it comes to rush hours and stuff. And at night, there's like a few trams that come through here and there for those that require it that late at night. But the tram.
I think Vox will be able to determine that he's heading to the whole tram thing beforehand. So he kind of wants to catch him before he goes to any public area, so to speak.
Okay.
So I think in one of the alleyways just before the stop, he will patiently just wait behind the wall with the chloroform in his hand already.
Okay. So you're gonna ambush him before he gets on the tram. I would say that with your stealth check and everything, you would be able to determine where the tram is going, dependent on the sort of lettering that's on top of, like on the front of the tram. It says like next stop, this place. And so it's your choice. So you're going to follow the tram to where it goes, or you're going to chloroform him up before he gets onto the tram?
Actually, I think, Vox wants to initially just get it over and done with, but then he stops for a moment and he just thinks to himself, well, it wouldn't hurt, obviously, to know the location of where his dad and possibly Escher stays. So he silently puts the chloroform back into his cloak and he will decide to follow Jador.
Okay. You get onto the tram. Rather you follow the tram, or at least head it off over the buildings, sort of diagonally cutting through the buildings. And I'm just going to get out the map real quick because reasons. The tram goes past Hilda's Hutch, the Skyport, past another shop known as Alejandro's Modiste, past a casino known as the Cerulean Jewel, past Haggle and Hustle, another general goods store, as it sort of coasts through the main road and eventually stops within sort of the mid-section of this area of the Copper District. So so like the western part of the industrial sect. You see him sort of get off of the tram. You follow him a few alleyways in, and you see him just walk up to a door, and there's like a bell on it and obviously a lock and everything. He walks up a few steps. You see him get out a few keys. They sort of clink, clink, clink as he takes them out. You see him beginning to move it towards the door. And then
does he seem to be in thought?
Yes.
Like not really observant of what's going on around him?
Very much. But I would say, if you're looking to do anything here, he does hesitate when he wants to place the key into the lock. His hand is shaking.
Fox's one foot kind of wants to step forward, but then he sees him hesitate, and he just slowly lowers it again and waits a bit more.
You just, as his hand is shaking, he puts the key back and he grabs his head with both of his hands, and he just you can almost hear him screaming to himself in the inside. It's just freaking out at the moment, and he goes, and you see his eyes narrow and his head perk up as if he's just realized something, and he begins sprinting.
Fuck. Where does he sprint?
South. Into an alleyway. Just he begins sprinting.
I immediately follow him.
Okay. Continuing on the Nat 20. In this high-speed pursuit, I'm going to ask you for another stealth check for me, please. As the pace has changed.
Okay, that's a 20 on the stealth.
You effortlessly dash from building to building, follow him as he's just sprinting through buildings. He begins running for quite some time. You see him flag down a tram car. The tram ding, ding, stops, and on the tram it says Southern Industrial Sect.
Okay.
And he immediately gets onto the tram, and the tram begins to begin to move southward, if you'd like to follow.
Yes, I will follow him.
Okay, I think you like just land softly on the tram's roof and just like leopard crawl on it, because there's not a lot of light up there. The lights are more street level and the trams are quite large, and you just follow the tram as you're standing on top of it. There's not many people in the streets at this time, but the tram goes past a place called Crossed Curiosities, a beautiful church to the Twin Suns known as Sanctus Ira. It goes past a place known as the Kaput Inn, and then past another skyport, eventually sort of bowing left in the main road, and then left again. Ahead of you, you see the Southern Industrial Sect. And the tram...
Okay, I would just like to note, just before the tram doors open, I will try to silently jump off and wait around one of the corners.
Okay. You jump off, land, you begin coasting through the alleyways, and you watch him nervously walking, almost as if he has a pinpointed place in his head, and he's just striding with purpose towards this place.
Okay. I will try to maintain a very close distance to him, because my goal is to intercept him right before he can alert anyone.
Okay. Make a perception check for me in that case.
Okay. Yay, that's pretty good. 18.
You see him clearly heading for the center of this industrial district. Continuing on that perception check, you notice there's an area of semi-constructed buildings. Those I-beams that make up the skeleton of the building, many of them sort of dotting this place, almost littering it with the amount that there are. There's building rubble, building supplies everywhere, but it's only the skeletons that are there. It doesn't seem that a lot of construction work has been done yet. And he seems to be heading for the central one of this, so it's a bunch of them, and then there's a larger central one in the middle of all of this chaos. And with that perception check, I would say, as you look over, you see a graffiti on one of the I-beams, from the angle that you're standing on, one of the I-beams of this semi-constructed building, the center one, which is the image of a raven with both of its eyes. And you see him heading for that, as if like he thought for a moment, and obviously you wouldn't suspect his son to be involved with this, but then in a moment he realized, wait a moment, the ravens, I've seen something like this before. I'm gonna go check it out right now, because I have to have clarity right now. That's sort of the path that he is on right now, but he is clearly heading for that, so you can head him off or watch him do what he does.
Before he makes it to any like open site, Vox will wait around the corner for him with the chloroform.
Surely enough, he passes below a building that you're standing on with that stealth check of yours.
In fact, to make it even more spicy, knowing the situation he is in, Vox will wait for him to like pass through a rather secluded area, and as he goes through it, I will once again, using my dark magics, there will be kind of this scratching noise, almost like a radio coming from underneath my mask, and I will use minor illusion to mimic the sound of his son's voice. I don't know if that's possible.
What do you say?
But I just simply, almost in a way that's like asking, I'll just simply say, Dad?
Make a deception check.
Around the corner.
I'm gonna say with advantage, because he is scared at the moment. He's hearing his son's voice, that's what he wants to hear. You have advantage on this.
Splendid. Oof, that's good. That's a 23.
Okay, he rolled pretty high on insight, but he goes, he looks in that direction. Is that like mimicking from inside a building or something like that?
It's like from in an alleyway, essentially.
He sort of, and he's like, Escher, and he begins like jogging in that direction, and he is right there where you'd want to be. Should you want to drop on him or whatever you'd like to do to subdue him?
The moment he comes around the corner, dark silhouette just falls right on top of him, and I immediately stuff the chloroform thing in his mouth without hesitation.
Make an athletics check with advantage. Athletics or acrobatics for you.
Oh, baby! Yeah, 22!
You jump, immediately grasp him with it, and we're gonna make a con save. Ew, what's his con? Misses the DC by 1, and you cup his face with it. He struggles against you for a moment. This immediately, you're almost lifted off of the floor. You immediately notice that Jador is quite strong, but the moment he inhales that, he...
This is quite caught off guard by this. His legs kind of flail a bit in the air the moment Jador stands up, but he maintains composure.
His grasp immediately softens as the illicit material takes hold, and he goes limp and falls unconscious to the floor.
I think once he is completely immobile, Sylvester's head will pop out, and he's just like,
Yep, I think we got them by the balls now.
and I think Vox will just kind of... It's still in the construction sector, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of abandoned spaces, right?
Yes. Or unused.
I think Vox... Yeah. Okay, Vox will look for a room that is like unoccupied and relatively closed off, and he'll just kind of squatter in that room essentially and try to like bind Jador to a chair essentially and completely deprive him of any vision or sound that he can.
So you bind him up against a chair within a dark room. It's easily enough to find. You basically just drag him into the room next to the alleyway. Make a stealth check for me, please.
Okay. Also, I would just like to ask, oh my soul, another nat 20.
Okay.
Damn, bro.
What?
I would just like to know, would Fulon have disclosed how long this tranquilizer would be able to subdue someone?
No. Make a make a nature or a history check for me, or alchemy. Okay. Actually, this would be an alchemy check. So just roll a d20 plus your intelligence modifier, intelligence check basically, because you're not proficient.
That's a 15.
Maybe 10 minutes. You're unsure.
10 minutes. Okay. Well, then it's a construction site, so there has to be chains lying around somewhere.
There's rope and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. I take it this is industrial grade rope, so it's pretty decently woven. Okay. Given that this man is an absolute unit, I will tie it 7 knots, just to be sure.
Okay, so you bind him hands and feet.
His feet and his hand and even his body, just to be sure. Just to be sure.
Okay, he is bound within this room. You rolled a nat 20 on the stealth check, so for a moment you hear footsteps, soft outside, but it just seems like someone passing by, and they quickly soften as they walk towards the center of the industrial sect. What do you do, or are you just waiting for him to wake up?
Just want to check something here. So my familiar, is he able to move around on his own? Like freely.
He can. Within 100 feet of you, you can telepathically speak to him, but you can only control him within 100 feet of you. Otherwise, you can say like go north, and it'll infinitely fly north until you like dispel him or recall him. But you can't like control him outside of 100 feet.
Okay. I think Vox will he will telepathically tell Sylvester to go inform the others of what is going down.
Okay, so Sylvester...
And he'll send him out like a raven, but a golden raven that can talk.
You just sort of perch him on your glove, your leather glove, and you release him into the air, and he's like, okay, and he like
It's my cue.
and he swirls through the air on his way. We'll resolve that in a moment. Vox, 10 minutes go by, and Jador's eyes flutter, and he like begins.
His eyes are bound, by the way.
His head begins to sort of lull, and he begins to look around after he gets his bearings, and he like struggles, and the chair screeches a bit as he tries to move it around, but it's to no avail. He is completely bound, and eventually he sort of just gives up, and he just sits there.
Okay. Vox will just kind of go into like a, what do you call it, like a Hindu stance. He'll just kind of sit there on the floor, kind of just behind the chair, and he will just wait very patiently for Sylvester to return.
Okay. I would say like 30 minutes go by because it's quite far. And eventually Sylvester makes his way through one of the windows. You are now Sylvester. What does he do?
I would just like to describe the way Sylvester flies. He doesn't have wings. He literally just slithers through the air like very haphazard. He's like... But given his on-call tendencies, his cardiovascular abilities aren't exactly up to standards, so his air slithering isn't exactly going that great, and I would say it took him 40 minutes to get to the place because of that. His belly is literally hanging in the air as he's like flying towards the place.
Beautiful. As he arrives at the HVC after a disclosed amount of time, what is he doing?
I think he kind of just flutters. Is there like an open window to one of the rooms, maybe?
Would anyone leave their windows open?
I would, definitely.
Grant as well.
Okay, I think I will roll a dice in for which window I go into. I know it's 3 people, but I'm just roll like a D4.
Grant is pretty aware of you. It's because he's interested in your blood. So the moment you like ping on his heartbeat radar, he just kind of stands at the window and looks out.
Actually, the only people that would have, your
heartbeat thermometer goes. Because Sylvester's heart is just burning at the moment.
Actually, only people that have windows are Solon, Silas, Shiloh, Alexander, or Sergey, or Fulon. There's a
Grant's
choice.
still aware, and he stands at his door waiting for.
Then I guess Shiloh would be staring out of his window for no apparent reason.
Shiloh, you see a tiny golden speck slowly flutter towards you from the distance.
Shiloh just adjusts his goggles.
You see this little golden light, almost like a firefly. You can't really tell how far it is from you, but it's just sort of like, almost like haphazardly, like drawing squiggles in the air as it's slightly becoming larger and larger. And eventually, it enlarges rapidly as you see the face of Sylvester, and he crashes into the rear.
I just step out of the way.
And
my
he
hands
just
behind my back.
smashes into your door, just like, and then he just glides off of the door like, and you hear an audible thump from his belly hitting the floor.
Yes, Sylvester. You got away, it was a pleasure.
Oh, wait. Just give me a second, my boy. I
He's just
haven't been.
staring at you with his goggles on and his hands behind his back.
I haven't slithered in a hot minute. I will tell you that. just. Sorry. Oh, my boy, I have good news. Very good news. Yes.
And he throws up on the floor.
You hear the sound of like a mechanical footstep just jumping on the wooden floor. And you see
what is that?
Clockwork
What is this eldritch abomination?
Clockwork just he's very annoyed at you. And he just goes to the vomit and he starts cleaning it up.
Sylvester is backed against the wall. His heart is just like pounding out of his chest from still being very tired. And he's just like,
what is the good news, Sylvester?
What is that thing?
And he just points his finger towards the monkey.
It's Clockwork. You've met him before in the bunker when you found me.
That is the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Clockwork just like torts his head to your direction. And he just stares at you with these glowing turquoise eyes.
You know, I think in my past life, one of those might have slaughtered my entire family at some point, most certainly.
But he just kind of shakes his head. He's like,
what am I saying? Okay, we need to gather everyone. I have some very important news. Time is of the essence.
Alright, let's get to it.
By the way, before I continue, I must just quickly switch over to my phone because load shedding.
Yeah,
we're not ready. Call it there before the meeting. Then we pick up at the meeting next time.
Could do that. I would like.
It is almost 10.
Yeah, it's gonna take like 15 minutes for me to put it on a cliffhanger. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thought we were gonna have combat this session, but it's okay.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time on the Brass Gasconade. It's been a ride. Sorry for the short session, but we have been out of resources lately. Those resources being time. But anyways, we'll be seeing you next time as the mystery unfolds. Vox has imprisoned the father of Escher Kesho, a member that is now known to be affiliated with the Ravens, and he has sent his familiar Sylvester to gather the rest of the crew to his position to potentially make another move. What that move is, you'll have to find out the next time on the Brass Gasconade. Until we meet again, goodbye.
Bye.